Hello, welcome. Sorry it took me a while, but it's here. I couldn't figure out how to record and do this stuff. But it's right here. Let's get into it. Alright, so I'm gonna try to teach you the pull-out method. And I believe it's important that you learn this first. And then you can learn the rest later. Because this will be your foundation throughout your journey. Okay. Alright, so who found the game? First of all, it was this guy. The it goes back to the 1700s of the first guy that recorded his um what field reports. Yeah. So there's this term we call in the community pickup community called field reports. Basically, you report what you've done in the field, and look back and think of the things you can improve, what you did right, what you could what you should be doing, and scrap out the rest. And then you test the hypothesis again in the field to see if it works. If your hypothesis, if the evidence or the methods have supported your hypothesis, then it can be a theory, which is called game theory, which is called game. Okay. So he's the first guy. He's the first fuck boy in the 1700s, and he got some good results. So he put it on his autobiography, and now we know that he got laid a lot. All right, we're gonna jump straight into the 1900s, in the 70s specifically, hippie era. Everybody wants to be like psychology was a booming field and shit like that, and this was one of the first recorded books on how to pick up girls. It's even in the title, how to pick up girls. Man, it's good. That's where we get our lingo from. Targets, IY, indicator of interest. Target, yeah, target means a girl. They kind of influenced by the military lingo because of the Vietnam War, and I'm guessing, yeah, this guy's one of the first guys to publish the book, and then neuro-linguistic psychologists started contributing to the pickup culture and stuff like that, Ross Jeffries and everything, and yeah, and then the knowledge kind of passes on, and then we get to the era of sales, which is all about pitching ideas, straight line method, which this guy Jordan Belfort is the most famous for. It's the straight line method. He suckered in a bunch of Wall Street dudes that are like that are that are taught they're whales, right? He suckered them in and sold them penny stocks, like shitty stocks. And how did he do it? The straight line method. So some of the things we learn in game are derived from this guy too, sales, Jordan Belfort. There's some inspiration here. Tonality, that's important. What else did we learn? Familiarity, building trust, connection. We're gonna learn that with social capital. He's the guy who did the thing. He started the lingo, and I think some of his stuff works well. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure, but I know that he's the one of the first guys who published an actual book about it. And he's not really pickup artist Jordan Belfort, but pickup artists get their inspiration from this guy. Okay, now we get to the mystery method style. Oh, well, the mystery era. First of all, this guy Mystery, Hall of Fame pickup artist. Like the things he was trying to do at the time, in the mid '90s to the early 2000s, this guy was a this if he and Drake was in the same room, I bet money Mystery could pull off a girl from away from Drake. Drake is too much of a simp with his Marvin's Room shit. I mean, this guy is gonna show him what's really happening. But anyway, yeah. So we got the mystery method. He started the whole culture. He was one of the first guys who brought the community together. Actually, he formed the community, and he brought in a journalist. A journalist actually infiltrated the community because this was super underground back then. Internet forums and stuff like that, like really hard to find. It's not. It's like being in the Matrix. It's another world. So he wrote the Mystery Method at the peak of his popularity, which was I think 2005. Yeah, yeah, 2005. That's when the pickup scene blew up because of Neil Strauss Styles. He exposed this whole thing, and now you see shit in the media about pickup artists like peacocking and negging. Like, where do you hear that from? It's the pickup community. And the one thing you do is not talk about the pickup community at the time. They're treating this shit like Fight Club, but now everything's out. It's exposed. So RSD, they took over in the mid 2000s, and I think around 2015 that's their downfall. 2015, that's when they started like getting a lot of flack, but mid 2005, around there, 2006 till 2015, they had their big run. They were disciples of Styles and Mystery, and these are the guys who started the whole internet culture of dating and putting their shit on YouTube because they used to sell blueprints, not the blueprint on DVD, but now they ran boot camps. They yeah, these guys were the guys at the time. Okay. So what started happening 2015, the politically correct culture has got to them because this shit is supposed to be underground. Not everyone's supposed to know this stuff. You know, certain guys or certain people, when you tell this stuff to them, it like literally blows their mind because like the traditional way of meeting women is through their social circles or just really square, just waiting for an opportunity. They didn't really think that, oh, wait, I can do cold approach. And if they actually thought of doing that, there's no method to that. Like, how the hell are you going to do that? You're a fucking stranger. Like, how are you gonna do that? It's gonna come off as creepy, right? So yeah, well, this shit started blowing up, and the whole SJWs caught up to the whole thing, and they started amping up their antics because they thought they were some kind of gods. Well, in the nightclubs. I can understand why they think that. But yeah, that blew up, and right now it's a bunch of self-help gurus trying to teach you about self-help and all that bullshit. And they're trying to slide in some principles that RSD had with their self-help stuff. But really, they don't know. They don't know the whole shtick. You know, they don't know everything. They're trying to scam you. They're trying to rip you off. So don't listen to them. Don't listen to me if you want. Don't have to, man. Don't do it. So now we're in the dark ages. 2017 till now, we've just become a bunch of simps. Bunch of simps trying to simp over hoes, not even worth our time. And all the good girls become Cardi B and shit. They listen to Cardi B, they think they're free, whatever. You know, I don't want to put my own opinion out there, but we're in the dark ages right now, currently. Disclaimer, okay, just to warn you, some of this stuff will come across as offensive or maybe insensitive, but that is not my intention. What I'm trying to do is just tell you the steps on how to meet somebody. That's it. That's simple. All of this stuff is derived from my experience and the strategies that I learned from the founding fathers, okay? So the game plan has been molded by many, like, various different pickup artists, tailor-made specifically for their needs wherever they are. However, the core principles of the pool remains intact. This is actually pretty similar to sales. It's kind of similar. Kind of similar to sales. There's inspiration from other people. You know the drill. Okay. Why is this significant? This knowledge used to be sold and taught in different leagues, and you get taught this in boot camps, but with the state of the pickup community right now and the watering down the essence of cold approach, I don't want this knowledge to die, and I would like to pass this on to the next generation. So, the thing I noticed is that men in general, or people in general, don't play to win. People don't play to win, and people play not to lose, which is not good. You shouldn't have that mentality. You should learn how to close, because learning how to close is playing to win. And if you play to win, it's just way better for your chances. It's way better. You're not going to be passive. You're going to be actively pushing the probability with you, not against you. So, I guess the term now is called simping, but there's a term before. Well, the term in the pickup community is called one-itis. What is one-itis? Basically, what one-itis is that you notice how it's an itis. It's like this. This is treated like a disease. Like seriously, this is you don't want to have this disease. One-itis is terrible, fatal, could potentially ruin your marriage even. You don't want this, okay? Because you really don't want this. So basically, guys become insecure and they have one-itis because lack of experience and insecurities come up. They think that the girls they have or the girl who's special is the one, and what usually ends up happening is they put them on a pedestal and they don't have respect for themselves. And for even sometimes, right? We men sometimes have been programmed to even act this way. I noticed a friend of mine, right? He's loud around me. That's fine. He's loud around her, and then a girl comes around, different story. He's a bit more meek, a bit more quiet. I'm like, something weird here. And then what happened is that he laughed at my joke. We both laughed. We had a good time. But he thinks he laughed way too hard, way too loudly around this girl who's kind of close to him. So I said, hey, dial it down, man. You know, chill out. And then I caught myself like, hey, what? Everything else was fine before this girl came along. Why are we all of a sudden meek? So I'm like, hey, you know what? Nah, I'm alright. I'm having a good time. I'm in a public area. I'm outside. If I'm loud, that's fine. I'm outside. I'm literally outside. Not everybody's gonna hear me. And we're just laughing, having a good time. Nothing to worry about. So girl was smoking, then she left. And then my friend, right? He said, "Oh man, I felt like apologizing." I'm like, well, yeah, you know what? I kind of had that feeling too, but you know what? I didn't want. No, but because why? Why do I need to feel to suppress myself around a woman who's uncomfortable? You know, like why do I have that feeling? And I noticed that like some of the TV shows brought up. It's like we've kind of been programmed to to have that feeling around women, like to treat them like they're some sort of goddess or an unattainable creature. But no, they shit the same way that we do. They think about sex the same way we do. Don't really, please, guys, don't have this. Don't think that every girl you meet is special, or every girl you meet that gives you attention is special or is the one. All right, even if you do have a girlfriend. I mean, she's very special to you if you marry her, right? Um, and even if you do have a girlfriend, okay, make sure you keep your identity because that's the reason why she was attracted to you in the first place. Keep your identity, man. Don't don't falter. Don't simp. Don't have this one-itis issue because really it'll ruin everything, man. So, and most girls know this. Most girls know that their beauty is temporary and can capitalize on it at a young age. Why do you think their peak is when they're young? Why do you think older guys like younger girls? Because the younger girls know that their beauty is their value, right? But the younger guys, I mean, the older guys know that their resources are their value. Anyway, enough on this rant. Okay, so newbie symptoms. What are some newbie symptoms? Scared to approach, conversations that lead to nowhere, nothing to say, and you're very shy, very embarrassed, introverted. I get it. I was there too. So what is the antidote for this? How do we heal the symptoms? How do we heal the root cause? Learning to close or pull is the best method to heal the root cause because you're playing to win. You're actively trying to close, right? You're moving it forward. Let's just talk about my journey. So, why am I even here? How did I get into this stuff? So, in the beginning, I had very bad social skills when it comes to communicating with females, and I had self-esteem issues in high school because of that. And I was very uncalibrated. I had no filter. I just said whatever I said, and sometimes it's a good thing, but mostly it's a bad thing. It's not good. I didn't have no filter. I was like some kind of wild animal, just saying whatever I wanted. There's no finesse to me, right? So I told myself, hey, you know what? I eventually want to meet a woman and want to have a normal family. I just want a girlfriend. So I know that I had to learn how to socialize properly, how to calibrate myself a little bit more because I couldn't even do that with people, not just women, but just people in general. So let's change this particular area in my life. I wanted to change it. So what did I do? Hey, I just had I seized every opportunity I can and honed my techniques, verbal game, inner game, approaching. I saved up money and traveled in the summer. I did all the cold approaches I can in the summer and I hung out with peers to remove neediness and have a support for self-esteem. That's what peers do to you. When you hang out with your boys or with other men, they make you feel like you have value. That, hey man, not everything's about hoes, right? That's where it comes from. But really, it helps out. Especially when you're a teenager. You don't want to be having one-nights as a teen. It's horrible. Trust me, you don't want to have that. It will probably shape the way you perceive women for when you become an adult, right? You don't want that. So because of that, I made improvements. I'm like, hey, I'm actually a bit more confident in myself. My mood became better. I started becoming more confident with women, how I interact, and mostly I started becoming more comfortable and confident with myself. So, one of the biggest crushes I had one night is for this one girl. It was terrible. It was terrible. It was my whole motivation to even be good at this shit. It's because of this chick, you know? But I was like, hey, you know what? Enough simping. I'm gonna show my true intentions. And I asked her out. I tried to ask her out on a date. And it was my biggest fear because I thought she was special. She's the one. I'll never find anybody like her. But no, it's not real. Don't ever have that ever. Don't even apologize for having that. Like, I don't, like, just don't, no. It's not something you think about. You're high value. She's the same. No one's higher value than you. I don't care if they got more money, more status. No, you have some respect for yourself. But anyways, I was rejected, right? I overcame my fear, but I was rejected. But because of that, it gave me a sense of freedom. Like, hey, it's not that bad. Rejection isn't the worst thing ever. It's actually not that bad. And in fact, it made me more free. But was I really reaching my goals though? After 3 years of doing that stuff, as an adolescent, having all those experience, I still had no consistency. And it's because I just didn't know how to close properly. I just couldn't pull. I didn't know how to do it. And if I were to, it was by accident. It wasn't on purpose. And that's not good. You should know how to do things on purpose the way you want it to go. So it's just not working out. Just like everyone else, I came back to normalcy. I stopped gaming, not because I achieved my goal of getting a girlfriend. It's because I thought I wasn't good enough. That's it. It's that simple. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm not cut out for this. I'm not good enough. Let's just be a normal guy. Let's just meet the way how people usually meet through social circles, through friends. When the opportunity comes, sure, I'll go and try. But I've seen the Matrix. I know what it's like on the other side. I know that I couldn't go back to my old ways, being brainwashed by the media, simping. waiting for opportunities to happen, and just giving any girl like, oh maybe she's the one, oh maybe she's the one, just because she gave me a little bit of attention. I think she's kind of unique. No, even if she is hot and really unique, there's 7 billion people in this world. Let's cut it down to half, because not everyone is women, right? So let's maybe 3.5 billion. And let's say you want the top 10% of the hottest girls, the hottest people, you would have 350 million girls still for you to approach. And even if you did approach for like every day or even every second of your life, you would have to live like be immortal for you to run out. 350 million women, the hottest top 10%, by the way. No, it's that girl's not that special then. There's 350 million of them. They're not that special. But there's only one of you. There's only this one opportunity they get with you. And that's very small. So think of it as you giving them the opportunity to meet you. All right? Just think of it that way. All right? No one's above you. So success happened. Instead of feeling defeated, I was motivated. I wanted to approach again. Things just clicked because I gave myself the permission to close. I gave myself permission to move things forward. I initiated. So I diversified my social circle, and because of that, my social status kind of increased. Success happened. Oh yeah, we're back there. I was getting numbers. It was great. I was getting numbers. I was getting social media stuff. Great. I controlled my approach anxiety, which is my biggest fear, and I was able to approach more confidently, and I knew what to do. And all the experience paid off, and I landed pools. I accomplished my goal, which is getting a girlfriend, because of cold approaches. I did this because of pickup. I don't even think I'd have the girl I have with me now if I didn't initiate, if I didn't do the cold approaches. But everyone makes the same mistakes. Knowing game didn't make me a superhero. I'm just a regular guy. I'm just like you. I make the same mistakes as a beginner as well. I still have approach anxiety. I still feel a little insecure sometimes. I'm not perfect. I'm not even close to being the ideal man that I want to be. I'm still a work in progress, and that's how things should be, a work in progress. Everything is a work in progress. So if you were shy, introverted, had approach anxiety, and don't know what to say, I understand. We were all there at some point in life. So now that we get that out of the way, let's learn the two main principles of game. Take out your pens and paper, write this shit down. You're gonna need to know this, okay? So what are the two main principles of game? When you look up at every guru or every YouTube channel that teaches you game, they mainly talk about attraction game, okay? Dressing up well, going to the gym, verbally sounding better, knowing how to conversate, open, how to become magnetic, how to charm, how to look better, your hygiene, which makes sense, which totally makes sense. Of course, you need the attraction game to work. Okay, you need to have the girl needs to be attracted to you at some point. It can't just be like, you got to be attractive, and you got to make yourself attractive if you're not attractive. However, what I don't see is the logistics, which the mystery method, RSD guys, all of them taught, is the logistics. How do you close exactly? How do you deal with cock blocking friends? How about the location? Where do you take things? Do I have a car? Do I have some sort of transportation? Where is the place I'm in? All of these different stuff. These are called the logistics. Okay? And logistics matter. Most of game is actually the logistics. You get them hooked in with the attraction, which is good. You pitch yourself. And if they buy it, awesome. How do you make the deal now? How do you take the next step? Because they already agreed they're attracted to you. So how do you take the next step? A guy with a mediocre game but with good logistics can easily outperform those who have really good attraction game with bad logistics, right? So let me give you a scenario. Let's say me, I go and approach in the club, nightclub, whatever. This girl is very attracted to me, let's say. And then let's say you, right? Let's say you're okay attraction wise. You've done the minimum. However, you have good logistics. What does that mean? So let's say I try to pull this girl, right? I try to get her to come with me, or try to get her number, try to be in some sort of meeting, and she just couldn't do it. How come? Because I live far away. You have to walk 15 minutes down the road, and with her drunk ass, couldn't even think about it, or like, and I have a cramped apartment, and I have two roommates with me, right? How does that work? I'm very attractive, but I just have bad logistics. Compared to you, you have okay attraction, let's say, or just enough to get a pull, but she has friends with her, right? So what does that mean? You have your own place, you have your own room, you can have fun, you have a hot tub, you actually live 10 minutes away from the club, and you bring them there. You can bring them there. And you're not drunk. You can actually drive. So you have way better logistics than I have, even though my attraction game is really tight. So that's what it really means. Let me talk about logistics even more. Let's just burn down logistics to moving things forward with the resources that you have. All right. I don't mean that you have to be super rich or you have to drive a car. You don't really need that. They can drive too. It's just how you execute it. You know. Okay, let's just talk about it more. I don't want it to be confusing. Okay, so basically, the logistics is in, or the attraction and the logistics is in the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule is a statistic in life, and it's found everywhere in nature. It applies to economics, ecology, and even combat sports. 20% of wealth is held by 80% of the population. Or in combat sports, in jiu-jitsu, there's this position called the 80-20 rule, where 80% somebody makes the toughest decision, and you only need to make 20% to execute and make the best position for you. Something like that. So that tells us that in pulling, to perform a pull, to perform a close, you just need 20% of the effort to get 20% of the 20% of the effort to get 80% of the results. So 20% is actually the attraction game, and 80% is the logistics. And this took me to a whole new level. Learning logistics took me my game. It's like learning the method. This type of method is a good thing. It gave me structure, and it gave me a roadmap on how to do things, how to execute. I focused all of my attention on attraction game, which I became good at. However, I did not take my time at all with the logistics. When I moved out of my parents' house, I learned the logistical game in a single weekend. All you gotta do is practice. Okay, so let's learn game theory. Where does everything start? If you want to dance, you need to lead the dance. And you need to lead the dance to dance. You need to escalate. So, in escalation, there's 3 components, but according to RSD Todd, I think, is that Todd? I think so, maybe Jeffy, I don't know. Some of the RSD guys, and this is also derived from the mystery method, one of the founding fathers. There's 3 components to escalation. There's verbal, physical, and logistical, okay? You can verbally escalate things where it gets flirty and it gets kind of sexual, your conversation. You can escalate things physically, going for maybe a handshake to a hug to you guys hugging each other to a kiss. And then you have the logistical, which is how are you going to move things forward now with what you have currently, right? How do you take things out of the club scene and get into your room? How do you make things get in? How do you move things forward? Basically, you don't. It doesn't need or pull a dig. You don't need to go there. All right. Anyway, so there's two keys to pulling. There's value, and then you have comfort. And this needs to be the correct ratio, and this will depend on the girl. Basically, there's two ingredients. Yeah, okay, well, you know what? Let's keep going. I don't want to confuse you. What is value anyway? What the hell does value mean? You always hear stuff about, oh, you need to be a high value man for this, high value man for that. If you can't be a high value man, you don't earn the right to get a high value man. What the hell? What does that mean? What does value even mean? Well, it's basically simple. Value is just a measure of want, need, and desire. And to have value, you need to have social capital. Okay? Basically, social capital is the level of trust and familiarity you build with people, which leads to mutual benefits as a result, right? And and this is one of the things, the concepts that made me understand value a little bit more better. I think this is from Todd and social capital. Todd talks about this a lot. Let's make an example. Let's say you're a guy, okay? You're a guy walking down the street, and a homeless man comes up to you and asks you for $50, and you're not going to give some guy $50, right? You're more, and let's say you reject him, okay? And then your friend calls you, hey, bro, I need $50, bro. Please, I need to feed myself. The same excuse that the homeless man gave to you. And what do? You're more likely to give your friend $50 compared to the homeless guy, right? That's because you have a certain level of familiarity and trust that you built with your friend compared to the homeless man. So your friend has social capital. He has the social money to ask you for a favor. So he asks you for a favor, which is $50, and you trust him, right? And one of the things that can build social capital, obviously, is trust, right? So what is trust? It's a belief in the reliability, truth, or strength of someone, right? You trust in someone. You know this guy's reliable. And what are the things that signify trust? Humor is one of them. Actually, when girls say, hey, I actually like funny guys. When girls say, I like funny guys, it means that humorous guys are usually honest. It signifies honesty. Guys who are funny and can make people laugh. And if you were there, you know how it feels. There's a certain level of trust that just occurred because you made them laugh, right? That signifies honesty because you can fake intelligence, but you can't fake funny. You're either funny or you don't. You either got it or you don't. You're not funny or you're funny, right? It's very easy to fake intelligence, but not easy to fake humor, right? And what else can build trust? When you have attraction with somebody, when you have chemistry with somebody. In the workplace, if you have some sort of bond or chemistry with someone, you can trust this guy a little bit better. They just gained social capital from you. You just gave them a level of familiarity and trust. Okay? In basketball, when your teammate, you trust that guy can make the jump shot. He can sink that three. It's a level of chemistry there with you guys playing, right? He just has social capital on you. Maybe he'll miss, but there's still trust there. You trust that if you make a bounce pass and he goes into the net, you know he's gonna score that layup, right? So yeah. So How do you build this? How do you build value? How do you build a measure of want, need, and desire for yourself? So in this book, in the 70s, I think is this in the 70s? I'm not sure, but basically, this book has been used by salesmen, businessmen, people of high status, and this book is very good. And this can be also used in game, right? You can use the 6 factors of influence, which is authority, social status, likability, consistency, reciprocity, and scarcity. So let's talk about authority first. If you have a certain level of authority with people, they're obviously going to see you as valuable. You're the boss of the company. You're competent enough to run everything. You have value. Okay? If you have social status, if you have been surrounded by good people, you have friends around you, compared to a guy who's lonely, or not lonely, just by himself. Let's say a guy who's by himself approached you, right? And tried to offer you his friendship. Are you gonna trust him? Maybe not. Maybe not. You don't know. You don't know this guy. He's by himself. He just randomly asked you to be his friend. Huh. It's kind of suspicious. But let's say a guy who's surrounded by a group of friends, or a group of friends walk by, right? They're having fun, casually saying jokes and stuff. And then one of the people came out and says, "Hey man, you look really cool, bro. It's a nice jacket you got. You want to hang out with us for a little bit? You look kind of interesting." Hey, maybe in your brain you're thinking, "Hey, this guy's surrounded with people just asked me to be his friend." That signifies that the people around him respect him enough to be in that friend group, right? And maybe that guy has some sort of value to those people. So social status is also one of the things that you can build value off of. Likability, like I said earlier, if you're a funny guy, people will gravitate to you, right? You can make them laugh. You can have a good time. You're funny. Hey, if you're likable, you also have value. You can build value off of that. Consistency, if you are a type of person who asks me, "Hey, let's go to this and do that." Okay, and I do that. And then, "Hey, let's go to this," and we do that. And then he shows up, I show up, we're all there. We've said what we said and did what we did. If I was consistent, then yeah, there's a certain level of value, right? You don't want flaky friends. Do you like friends flaking on you the last minute? No, no one likes flaky friends. So yeah, there's consistency there. Reciprocity is more of a mutual exchange of benefits, right? I have something to offer, you have something to offer. I sell nail, you sell wood, we make things good. Okay? Business. Scarcity, one of them is that, let's say you're very unique, you're very scarce, and your time is limited. Let's say that you're one of the guys who likes to throw a lot of parties, let's just say. Okay? And let's just say that you're one of the guys who actually don't drink at all and even offer free rides to make the party even lit, right? But your time is scarce. So what does that mean? You have value, okay? Not every guy has his own place and can throw nice parties and be even offer rides and even offer free booze. I mean, what kind of it's a cool type of dude. I would want to hang out with a guy like that, right? I don't need to worry about my money being lost. I don't need to worry about safety. He's gonna drive us. It's awesome. However, you can play to that advantage. You can say, "Hey, you know what? I don't really know you that well. I only do that to really close people. People I'm really close with. Let's just say, I don't know, right?" And I used to do that. I used to do that, and it was pretty cool because people would hit me up all the damn time, and they know that my time is scarce. So when they hang out with me, it's like, "Oh man, this guy probably hangs out with a lot of people and stuff like that, you know." And he's out here giving me ride and free booze out of his own pocket just for us to have a good time. Wow, this is awesome. I would like to be friends with him. Scarcity. So comfort. What the hell does comfort mean? Basically, when you feel easy around a person and you feel safe around a person, that's when you have comfort. You have you can be vulnerable around this person, right? And there's three types of comfort. There's physical comfort. You know, the girl is gonna ask, "Oh, will I be raped with this guy? Is this guy gonna like harm me or in any ways? Is he a psycho?" And there's emotional comfort, which is, you know, again, will I be hurt? This guy, is he gonna just use me for sex? Am I gonna be a cum bucket for this dude? Am I just here to catch his nut and then him leaving? You know, emotional comfort. You want to make them comfortable around you. You want them to make them feel that, hey, you're not just some sort of nut catcher. You know, I'm not just here to bust a nut and leave. You know, I actually really like you. And then there's social comfort, which is, will they feel judged around you? You know, will they feel like a slut if they were with you, or will they feel embarrassed if they were with you? Because girls have a value their social comfort, and they value not they don't like to be judged. Okay, so how do you check your value and comfort? You need to check, read, and respond. Okay, you need to check how much social capital you're giving away, right? Because once you build your social capital, you can only get to a point where you start taking risks, and then she starts saying no a lot. When they start saying no a lot, they've lost trust in you. Okay, so you need to constantly check your social capital and balance your comfort and value. You know, like, what does that even mean? Okay, well, let's talk about it. And also, there's a thing called the trial close. Okay, you need to keep trial closing, and this is used in sales. Trial closing is basically having a soft close instead of asking the real thing that you want to ask, like, will you go on a date with me? Maybe ask, hey, do you like tacos? What kind of food do you like? And she said, oh, I like tacos. Yes. How do you know that? Awesome. And then you can ask, hey, do you like drinking? She says, yes, I love to drink. Yeah, I like to drink. Yeah. And then you ask, hey, what's your schedule like? Oh, I'm free this and this and this and there. So you've gathered all the intelligence you can to ask the main question, which is, oh, that's great. Are you free on Saturday? Since you've gathered all that intel, you can actually ask the main question now. You've gathered all that yeses, those trial closes, to ask the final close, which is, will you go on a date? Right? So that's what it's called, trial close. So constantly check your social capital. Spend your social capital without breaking their trust, right? You want to move it forward by spending your social capital. What does that mean? You know, like, you can, once you build your social capital, you can take risks now. Okay, you're free to take some risks, but don't break their trust. Okay, like I said with the trial close earlier, you build up the yes ladder. That's called a yes ladder, and you want to avoid the no ladder. That's when they keep saying no and no and no and no and no until you ask the final question, hey, will you go on a date with me? She's been so used to saying no, she's gonna associate the word no with you, okay? So you wanna avoid the no ladder, alright? And if they said no, that means, hey, there's some trust need to be built still. There's still some familiarity and comfort need to be addressed. Does she feel physically comfortable? Does she feel emotionally comfortable? Socially comfortable? Do I have enough value? Let's check our value. Let's check our social capital. Okay? Check the concerns and don't spend social capital when you're in the negative. So when you don't have enough, when you're in the no zone, when you're in the no ladder, it means you've completely lost their trust. Okay? So if you're going down on a no ladder spiral and then you go, hey, let's go on a date. No, they've lost your trust. Don't do that. So you need to constantly check your comfort and value ratio. Okay. So sometimes there's an issue where you're too high value, like she feels like you're way out of her league or something, and she's not comfortable around you yet. Maybe make her feel a little bit more comfortable so that your value kind of goes down, but not goes down dramatically. You know, your value you make sure you seem kind of human to them. you you need to have a human factor to you. All right. If you have too much value, you need to check your comfort. If you have too much comfort, you need to check your value. Okay. Because if they're too comfortable around you, they're gonna see you as a simp. So you need to up your value a little bit. But if you have too much value, you need to up your comfort to match your value. You know, you need to feel emotionally secure. Like, hey, does he have other girls that are doing this? Am I one of the hoes or whatever? They don't. Women don't want to feel like hoes, right? They want to feel taken care of. They want to feel respected. So what you want to avoid? Don't wait too long before you close. Okay, I see this problem too often, even with me. Right? I built so much social capital and so much value. What the hell am I going to do with it? I don't know how to spend social capital, so I spend it incorrectly. And one of the things is that one of the things guys do is that they're too afraid to lose and they're not playing to win. They're too afraid to be embarrassed, or they're too afraid they're gonna lose this special girl. It's really special. She's the only one. I'll never get this opportunity again. And they're not playing to win. They're not playing hard enough, right? You gotta play to win. What's the point of keeping this person around if you're not winning anything? And basically, if you haven't slept with this girl, and if you're not even if you're not even girl if this girl isn't your girlfriend, if you haven't slept with her and she's not your girlfriend, you haven't won anything in the first place. There's nothing to lose, okay? So you need to keep that in mind. If she hasn't sucked your dick or some shit like that, or she's not your girlfriend, there's nothing to lose. You didn't win her in the first place. There's nothing there for you. So you need to close this. You need to pull hard, all right? Okay, let's review. Let's review the theories. Okay? The two theories in game is the attraction part and the logistical aspect, okay? And then you have three escalation phases. You have the verbal, physical, and the logistics, okay? And then you got two elements of closing. You got the value and your comfort. Three types of comfort, which is your physical, social, emotional. Write that down, review it. So, check your capital by trial. Whoa. Sorry, let's just get back here. What does minimum viable pool mean? Minimum viable pool means the least effort needed to close. Okay? When you don't need to gather all this social capital, all this attraction, and then just assume that things will eventually work itself out because she's attracted to me. Why won't things work out anyway? No, it's not. It doesn't happen that way. You need to close. And you don't even need to build up all of that capital to close. You just need the minimum amount of effort to get them hooked in, and then you can pull. That's called the minimum viable pull. You just need 20% of the effort to get 80% of the results for pulling in this context. Okay, we did the review. Yeah, so check your capital by trial closing. Don't withdraw money from your social capital when you're in the negative, okay? Don't do that. Warm her up. Move the interaction forwards when you receive the minimum viable pool, the MVP. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I will tell you the method now, right? This is the method. It's basically this. Just approach, isolate, escalate, and pull. That's it. That's all you need to do. Is that those four? And I'm not saying this is 100% guarantee. However, you increase the probability. You stack the odds, and the probability just increases when you have this method down. All right. I'm not saying you're gonna be a super pimp. You're not gonna out Drake. If you're thinking you're gonna outgame Drake, don't think that. This maybe if you've done this for 20 years, maybe, but you're not gonna outgame Drake. But this will just increase the probability. Okay, so it will just increase the probability of you landing more pulls. So why did I wait this long? What the hell? It's just these four? What? That's it? Well, didn't you see? I just did a whole game on you. I needed to build social capital with you first. You got to know me a little bit, introduce myself. You got to know me a little bit. You got some value off of me. I have value, which is this knowledge to provide, and maybe we built some sort of comfort. And I'm talking to a microphone right now. I don't know what you look like. I'm not with you in real life, so I needed this time to sell, to really hammer this home. So that's why it took so long. I just did the method on you just now. Didn't you notice? If you stayed around for 48 minutes listening, that means it's worked. If you skip to this part, well, good job. There's the hack. Here's the hack. Here it is for you. Okay. So first, you gotta approach. You gotta approach, man. It just boils down to, are you gonna do it or not? You gotta do it. Just approach. Okay. So approaching. This is the smallest part of the method. Approaching is not the biggest. Approaching, anyone can approach, but not a lot does it. Not many guys do it. Okay. Because why? Approach anxiety. It happens. How the hell are you just gonna go and cold approach someone you've never met ever and make conversation with them? How does that even happen? How is that even possible? What the hell? Just imagine yourself walking down the street and then some guy approaches you and tries to do like, hey, you wanna go on a date and stuff like that. It's kind of creepy. But you need to do it right. All right. So how do you warm up? Well, there's this term called warming up. This is the things I use to approach because I get approach anxiety. So warming up, just talk to strangers and try to desensitize your mind from the social barriers that has been programmed into you. The things that you've been programmed since childhood, like, hey, don't be too loud. You don't want to be too loud in an indoor place. But when you're in the mall, everybody's loud. So when you cough or make a loud sound, you're embarrassed. Like, oh, anybody hear me? It's a freaking mall. Everyone hears everybody. All right. There's no one paying attention to you. You need to get rid of that social barrier. Okay. So get rid of that social barrier by desensitizing yourself and talking to strangers. And when you're in the nightclub, when you're in a party, whatever it is. Okay. So how do you do that? One of the things I like to do is I lower the expectations for approaching. You have all this theory crammed up inside of your head, and then you go up there, and then you're gonna think, oh, okay, I need to do this, do this, do that, do that, do this. It's gonna be overwhelming. You're gonna have some sort of mental block, right? So it doesn't have to be like that. You just lower down the post, lower it down, and maybe go up to someone and make a sound. Just go up to them and go, and that's it. You've completed an approach. That's good. And then maybe instead of just going to someone and making a sound, maybe asking them for the time. Hey, I left my phone somewhere. Do you know what time it is? Something like that. And then maybe asking for a time you can go for, asking for directions. Hey, I'm new to town. Do you know where this is? You know where that is? And then instead of asking for directions, you can amp it up a little bit more. Maybe asking for an opinion. Hey, hello, you seem to be wearing very nice shoes. You know what? Where do you get shoes like that? Where do you get those? Instead of maybe shoes, you go for a compliment, and then from compliment you go and introduce yourself, and then the whole method. You understand? Okay, so desensitize yourself, warm up, and then open. Just go and open, man. Just find an attractive girl when you're in the zone, when you're in the state, or when you don't have approach anxiety. Just force yourself to interact. No bullshit, man. Don't pull out, bro. You've gone this far. You've learned all of this stuff. You might as well try it. Okay? So, screening. There's a difference between trying to convince someone that you're good and trying to screen for someone that wants something. Okay? Most of the time I found guys, and me myself even, I make this mistake too, that we try to sell ourselves way too much. We try to convince them to like us. But it doesn't have to be that way. What you need to do is you need to gather the intel. You need to screen for the people who's looking, okay? Who are on the fence. Let's say a person wants to buy a Toyota Camry. And he goes to the Toyota dealership and then he says, hey, I want a Toyota Camry. I'm sure I want a Toyota Camry. Give me a Toyota Camry. Okay? And then you offer, hey, maybe, and you're trying to offer other things to this person. Hey, you know what? Checking your balance right now. Maybe you don't want a Toyota Camry. Maybe you want this, you want that. What's that person gonna say? No, I want a Toyota Camry. So you gotta screen. You gotta look for people. You gotta screen people. You have a chemistry to. who's maybe on the fence. Let's say another car dealership, for example. Let's say a person who's looking for a car doesn't know anything about cars, but knows that he wants a car and not a truck, and he wants a car and not an SUV. So what do? You try to sell him an SUV. Maybe he's on the fence about it. He still wants a car, but you tell him, hey, you know what? Did you know this stuff about SUVs? Hey, did you know this stuff about trucks? Hey, did you know that some SUVs are actually better than cars? And then maybe he started to change his mind a little bit. You create that desire. You see what's happening? So when you actively screen, you want to create their desire for you, okay? Don't convince, but you need to channel their desire, okay? And once you meet them, once you approach, and once they get comfortable, once they introduce their name, you need to build emotional trust ASAP. Like as soon as possible, do it. Use her name 3 times in 60 seconds. Hey Jennifer, nice to so go up, be like, hey Olivia, nice to meet you. My name's this and that and this. Where are you from? Oh yeah? Oh, Olivia. Guess what? Guess what? I was actually there this past weekend. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, oh, Olivia, do you have any brothers? Something like that. Username 3 times in 60 seconds, okay? And here's the mentality you should have. It doesn't matter if you approach 10 girls, okay? And 9 of them hate you. What matters is that the 10th girl, put 9 here, but the 10th girl loves you, okay? You don't need every one of those 10 girls or 9 girls to like you, but you need at least one to love you. Because the one that loves you outweighs the other 9, right? Like a person who thinks you can walk on water outweighs those other 9 that is kind of wishy-washy, right? If they have the certain reverence for you and they love you, like that's very potent, that's very powerful. Okay, isolate. After you approach, you need to isolate, all right? She's most likely going to be with friends. So what you want to do is you want to isolate her to get her on a one-on-one. Get to know her on a personal level, right? So when you see her toes point towards you, that's a signal. You can go isolate. Just lead the dance. You need to be decisive and move this forward. You need to get her out of her friend. You need to get on a personal level, take her on a one-on-one with you, and just be decisive. Just do it, right? But don't be super aggressive. And you need to lead physically, okay? Don't ask, just do it. Your actions amplify what you say, all right? And be nonchalant about it. Be chill, right? Let's say we're on a dinner, okay? We're on a dinner, and then I say, hey, you know what? It was great. Let's go. You feel like heading out? Like, yeah, I feel like heading out. All right, okay. And then you guys end up talking there for maybe 5 minutes, and then you guys actually go. But instead of doing that, why don't you just go, hey, you know what? You have a good dinner? Yeah, I had a good dinner. All right, let's go. Let's get out of here. And then you actually get up out of your seat and then you leave. So your action just amplified what you just said. So when you say, when I say isolate, you want to lead physically, right? You want to lead. Just take her hand, take her anywhere. Take her with you to get on a one-on-one, get to know her on a personal level. So where do you go? How do you isolate in the club or in parties or in social settings? Well, you take her to the dance floor. That's the first thing you should do is take somebody on the dance floor, even though you don't know how to dance, okay? Just need to take her on the dance floor because this is your chance to escalate and be physical and maybe be escalate verbally. So take her outside, go for a smoke, and maybe if she wants, maybe you can just go talk and go to the bar. Take her to the bar, have some drinks. So there are going to be roadblocks or cock blocks that will get into your way, okay? And there's going to be friends, all right? There's going to be friends and friend groups, all right? You need to check. Okay, I'm getting too far ahead of ourselves. Okay, so you need to get friendly with the friends. Let them know who you are and acknowledge their presence. You don't just imagine this. Let's say you're with your friend of yours or a sister, a friend or a sister. That's a girl, right? And then some guy just randomly walks up to her, talks to her, and then takes her away from you. Where are they going? What the fuck? What was that, right? Whoa. So like imagine how that would feel for their friends. So you need to go up and approach, get to know a little bit, talk to their friends, let them acknowledge their presence, let them know that you exist, and tell them that hey, we're just gonna go get drinks and we'll come back. And maybe even exchange numbers if they go for it, like hey, I don't know you, whatever. Maybe exchange socials and tell them where you will isolate. All right. And if they try to cock block, if they're like, hey, no, no, we're not, no, no, you're not doing that. Just tell them, hey, you know what? We're just gonna go to the bar. We're just gonna get a drink really quick. We'll come back. We'll just be around 5 minutes. Is that all right? And usually they're pretty chill. You know, they don't usually. The girl usually tells their friends that you're gonna go with them. But if that doesn't happen, tell her friends where you're gonna go. We're gonna go to the bar. You're gonna tell them, hey, it's just gonna be a quick 5 minutes. And if they don't want to, hey, invite them. Like, hey, you know what? You can come with us. Just come chill with us. Come hang out. All right. And if they still say no, say okay, we will just chill here. We'll just be here. Okay. And then you can try again later. You can try to maybe gain their friends. Have fun. Be sociable. You need to in isolating, you need to always check. Remember to always check your social capital, all right? Then lead again. If they say no, check your social capital, build it, lead again. If you don't have enough social capital, all right? Do always be trial closing. And you need to read the situation too. You can't be stupid, all right? You see if she got a boyfriend or what is this, a bachelorette party? Is this a bachelorette party? Okay, they're really gonna get wasted here. So restrictions are off. You know, are they college students? College students are usually group thinking. Yeah, they're usually group think. They usually don't want to leave their friend groups and they don't want to seem like sluts. So it's gonna be a little bit hard. You need to befriend their friend group and stuff like that. You need to be in with their friend group and stuff. Okay, read the situation. Read it. Read it. Read it. So groups. How do you deal with groups? Okay, when you approach a girl and they have a group with them, you need to find the leader and approach and then introduce yourself. Just say, hey, what's up? I'm here. I just met Thing. Are you guys having a bachelor party? That's great. Awesome. Yeah, whatever, whatever. Find her best friend and build some sort of rapport with her. Okay, build comfort with them because that best friend is gonna be might save you and she's gonna think you're cool. They might even convince their friend group that you're a cool person because you build connection with them, right? If it's two girls, go for a threesome. Okay? If it's two girls, either go for a threesome because just try to game both of them, all right? If it's two girls, don't try to force one because it's gonna be super creepy if you just pay attention to to one and then you don't pay attention to the other one, right? Try to be friendly with both of them. Usually, if you have more attraction with one girl, that other girl's gonna usually leave. Okay, she's gonna feel like a third wheel, and she's gonna be like, "Oh shit! All right, you know what? She's having a lot of fun with this guy. I'm just gonna leave her alone." That usually happens. If it's a guy and a girl, don't go for the threesome, or go do whatever you want if you want to do it. If you swing that way, but don't go for a threesome. Just actually be friendly. And the same thing usually happens. The guy usually notices that she's attracted to you or something, and yeah, he'll feel awkward and will leave you alone. And couples, okay, well, what I notice is that when it's a guy and a girl, the guy is actually getting taken advantage of because he's simping for a girl. When a girl and a guy go into a club, they actually rarely get approached because people think they're a couple. And even couples that go to the club, they rarely get approached. They actually want to get approached. That's the reason why they go there to socialize and interact with people. So go for it. Don't be afraid. So after pulling, after all of that stuff, when you go to dance floor, do the thing, you need to escalate now. You need to physically escalate or verbally escalate, but I prefer to physically escalate because you've already talked your talk, you've introduced yourself. Now you need to escalate physically. So when you go into the dance floor, put her hands on your neck. If she complies with you, go in for a kiss. If she goes in for a kiss, congratulations, all right? Congratulations. If she goes in for a kiss, that means she trusts you enough to sleep with you, or she trusts you enough and is comfortable around you so that you can be her girlfriend, you know? So put her hands under her neck, and if she complies, says yes, all right, go in for a kiss. What I also like to do is that if you're standing really close to someone and her cheek is close to your cheek and you're both kind of touching, go in for a kiss, a little kiss. If she's neutral, talk in her ear, pull back a little bit, talk in her ear again, pull back a bit. And as you're doing this, you're gonna look like a pulley. Okay, you're gonna look like a pendulum. And try to shorten the distance every time you pull back. And when she's not moving and if she's still close and stays, go in for the kiss. If she's leaning out, it means she's uncomfortable. Then do the same. Lean out a little bit, chill out. Don't have to be super aggressive with this, okay? Need to escalate. Do the same things again, you know. Yeah, if she leans out, don't force it, man. Don't force it. You don't want to get a rape case, okay? Okay, how do you escalate in the daytime? How do you do this shit in the daytime? Well, in the daytime, you can't really do all this stuff like in parties or in nightclubs or in social, like where it's acceptable. Well, I guess where the environment is different. In the daytime, things are usually more chill because there's not a lot of loud music or whatever. What you can do is shorten distance. If you notice that you guys are pretty close in proximity, then you could just go in for a pool. Just like, hey, what's your number? And then isolate later, maybe get kissed. You know? So when she kisses you, go. Go pull. Take her hand and just leave, okay? Just start talking and go home. Take her hand. You don't need to overgame her. She already established this connection with you because she kissed you. You can just pull or close. You can close now and just go home, alright? If she stops, okay, if she stops, address the concerns. This is where the this is where this is where the three types of comfort comes in. Address her concerns and give solutions. Okay, you don't just because she kisses you doesn't mean that there's a guarantee. You still need to address her her concerns and give solutions to her concerns. She already likes you at this point, alright? Just chill out. You need to stay calm. You just need to show that you're not a creep and you're not gonna rape her at some dark alley, alright? There still need to be some trust needed if she stops. So, don't be too needy. Remember the three types of comfort, which is physical, emotional, and social. So, for physical comfort, if she doesn't feel physically comfortable around you, even though she already kissed you, you know what? You just need to tell the location where you're going. Maybe like, hey, you know what? We're just gonna go to McDonald's, and then we're just gonna go to my place. And you know what? You wanna see my PS5 is new and stuff like that. Hey, you wanna see a hot tub? I actually have a hot tub at home. Maybe you can even bring your friends over if you want. Which they don't really do that. They don't really invite people unless they're freaky. But yeah. So tell the location. Maybe, hey, you know what? I'm actually just like 30 minutes down the block. We just walk back, and we'll come back in like 15 minutes. How about that, huh? How about that? And then if she really doesn't want, exchange socials, show a picture of your ID. If it goes that far, you need to establish trust. All right. If it's still a no, you just chill out, be with her for a little bit, or just go pull another girl. It's whatever. So, if it comes down to emotional comfort, if she's not emotionally comfortable with you, she's gonna ask, like, hey, do you do this with all the girls you meet? No, she doesn't want to feel like a hoe. Most girls want love, or most people want love. All right, like we tend to think that girls are like what do you call that? Like hoes or whatever, or like like they want the WAP, or they got the WAP, they want a D or whatever. When they go in for a kiss, but don't let that don't let that distract you from the fact that she's also human. She wants to feel love. She wants to be with a real person. So be genuine and authentic. Like I usually say, like, hey, I actually like you, so That's why I'm with you right now. Let's get to know each other a little bit better. I want to, and or oh, I actually feel a connection with you. That's why I'm with you right now. I'm not talking to your friends because I feel a connection with you. Be actually genuine about it. Be authentic. Don't be a dick. Play nice. Play it nice. All right. You don't want to feel like hoes. And social comfort. One of the things girls don't want to be is to be known as a hoe. Even though they say, "Oh yeah, I'm a bad bitch," whatever. They still don't want guys to think they're hoes. All right. Like they still have a social they still have they still care about their social reputation, all right? Because most people live in a tribal mindset anyways. Are We don't want to be seen as bad people or have a bad reputation. So they might say, "Hey, my friends are still here. I can't leave right now." It's not because they don't want you. They just literally can't leave right now because their friends are here. So what do? Let her get in touch with her friends. Let her talk to her best friend. Like, hey, I'm just gonna go with this guy, and then she usually tries to convince them that you're the cool person, and she's gonna go just see your coconut water or something, or whatever. And then it usually works. But if it doesn't, go tell the location and be smart about it. Maybe hey, we're just going to McDonald's and we're coming back, something like that, or like you don't just say, yeah, we're gonna go have sex now. Like, no, no, you need to be a little bit more smart with this. Like maybe say, hey, we're just gonna go check out this clear, nice view. This actually in the apartment. I have an apartment. I have access to the roof. It's really nice. You wanna come check it out too if you want, and exchange numbers with the friends maybe just to be safe. Like, here's my number. If you still need her, like, no problem. I can drive still, or I can call a taxi or whatever. You need to solve the problems. And the woman already likes you, man, so you just need to chill, okay? So, things to remember. Visualize. You need to visualize, all right? Visualization is key if you've never done this before. And you just visualize potential situations that you're in and review your notes, all right? Practice, even if, like practice maybe watching TV or something like that, and then try it out on the pill or some shit. Hey, you can even do it to your to people you know. Maybe practice it. Do it in a bus stop. If you're in a bus stop, practice, always practice. Visualize, practice. And please don't actively remember the steps when you hop in field. When you test out the theory in the field, okay, this is not a hypothesis, by the way. The stuff I'm teaching you is theory. Okay, you can test it out and maybe revise the theory itself, but what I'm trying to teach you is, or what I'm trying to communicate with you is the theory, not a hypothesis. All right. So when you do this infield, don't actively remember the steps. Don't be a robot. Like, actually have fun. Like, actually have fun when you do it, and it'll come naturally. All right. That's everything I can offer. It's important that you know the methods first, and then we can work everything afterwards. Once you have this foundation down, you can work on the verbal game, attraction game, everything, because you know this method. Once you know this method, you can implement all the different stuff to your attraction, the 20% stuff, right? You can do that. But for now, this is the method. This is the pull-out method. Thank you for listening. I hope you get some sort of value out of this. And try it out yourself. If you don't agree with me, yeah, go sure, try it out. Try it out. See what happens, man. I've done this, man. Well, if you don't agree, go try it out then, See if it works. So yeah, have fun, guys. Have fun, man. Have fun. Hope you guys get yourself a girlfriend.